Hi, it's Eric Solomon, and I'm going to bring you the Monmouth Park Win Early Pick-5 preview for Sunday, August 29th. It's the New Jersey Thoroughbred Festival Day, 12 races on the card at Monmouth Park, all for New Jersey breds. Some competitive races, definitely some chances for a couple prices, and I think there's a single I feel pretty good about in this Win Early sequence. So I put together a $45 ticket, and the racing starts with race 1. Mile and 70 yards, optional claiming, non-winners of one other than allowance race for fillies and mares. I'm going to go 3 deep here, using the 3 on the inside. My top pick is the 2, Bamboo Garden. 5 out of the 7 horses in this race are coming out of a common race where Beat You by a Chubby Nose dominated at this level last time out. Bamboo Garden was the closest one to that mare that day, finishing 3rd, beating about 10 lengths. She had a wide trip breaking from post 7, was wide on both turns, still grinded out a 3rd place finish, again finishing in front of everybody else that's back in there. She gets some post relief here, breaking from post 2 in the 7-horse field. Should set a pretty nice trip and definitely has some better races in her past. I'm going to include the 3 Taffy Candy, 5-1 on the morning line. Again, I haven't given up on this horse yet, but her last was not good at a sprint. This is her 3rd race off a layoff, and she's got 2 sprints going to 2 turns for the first time. So she's bred to get 2 turns. And again, she's shown enough promise that I'll use her here because this is not a super strong field for this condition. Also used the 1 Postino's Secret morning line favorite. Was 4th in that same Beat You by a Chubby Nose race last time out. Was definitely trending up and into some of her best career form prior to that race. So if she can get back to some of those better races, she'll be a threat here. This race is where I want the most coverage. I mean, honestly, I would have no problem hitting the all button on a deeper ticket here. I'm going to go 5 deep in this 2-year-old maiden special weight race. I'm going to use the 2 with experience that are coming out of open maiden special weight company. My top pick is the 2, There Are No Words. I thought the turf race was a pretty good debut. A little slow from the gate, gained a lot of ground to be 5th in that spot. I think could certainly improve on the dirt at this level. On the come up, also debuted with open in a pretty tough maiden special weight in just an absolute deluge conditions. Very sloppy course that day. Showed a little bit of interest early before fading. Breen does pretty well with his 2nd-time starters, so I'm going to use that one for sure. And the 3 first-time starters, I'm going to use the 7 One-Time Willard. To me, this one has the best morning works of anybody. John Stavins, the trainer, knows how to get horses ready, so I think this one has a shot. And Eddie Owens has 2 for both of them run for Hollycrest Farms. The 1 is Cassation, and the 6 is Speaking. I think both are live. They have identical work tabs over the last few weeks. I'm going to give the slight edge to Cassation, but I'm going to put both of them on the ticket. Hector Diaz typically rides for Owens, and I figure he's got the choice, and he took Cassation in this one. Race 3, another optional claiming non-winners of one, optional claiming non-winners of one other than allowance. I'm going to go 3 deep here. All 3 of these horses are coming out of the same race at the same condition on the 8th of August. Again, very sloppy track that day. Unfortunately, that was the race where Chubalicious, that race was marred by that fatal breakdown in that race. Smithwick's Spice was drawn post 2 that day, and was kind of tucked behind 4 dueling leaders early. Took a lot of mud to his face that day. That was his first start in almost a full year that day. Definitely has better efforts in the past, and historically has run really big races in his 2nd race off the layoff. I like the outside post for him in this race. Should be able to track some of the speed and come wide with a real nice trip here. Shield of Faith, also coming out of the same race. Decent effort, 4th that day. Made the front before getting kind of swooped on the outside by Brother Chubb, who definitely sat the best trip in that race. Jesus Cruz claimed this one. This one's definitely live in here as well. And then my long shot here, Libs Contento. This is another horse that I've kind of touted. I haven't given up on this horse. Definitely had an excuse last time out. Broke last. Was kind of settling behind that early speed when, unfortunately, was kind of interfered with by Chubalicious as the rider was trying to pull that one up. Pretty much eliminated him from that point there. 2 back, it was a 2-turn race, too far for him. I think that his race, again, at this level back in June was pretty solid for a 3-year-old with only 3 starts. So definitely getting an education. This could be a spot where this one definitely runs a better race. He went off at 31-1. He's 12 to last time. He's 12-1 on the morning line today. I think he'll go upwards of that 12-1 and certainly worth a flyer here. Race 4, maiden special weight on the turf. This is a race that was brought back from the canceled card on Sunday. I was too deep that day. I'm going to stick with my same two horses there. Leo Monte going to be my top pick over the short price Pal. Those are the two I'm going to use. Leo Monte, one start on dirt. Second career start was his first time at 2 turns, first time on the turf. Wasn't that bad. Some of the horses in here finished slightly in front of him, but I figure this one definitely has the right to improve. Second time turf, second time 2 turns, as gets a little more experience. I think he has more upside than anyone in here. And then Pal, definitely the last 2 have been good. There's no one quite as good as He's Pure Gold or Kratos, who's beaten him in his last 2. So definitely an easier spot for him. Don't like the short price, but again, it's not a very deep group. And then my single here, a horse I feel pretty strong about, 9-2 on the morning line in the race 5. It's the Charles Hess III Stakes, $125,000 for New Jersey breds, going a mile in the 16th on the main track. Prendimi is the one I'm going to single here. He won this race last year and was really good last year in some of these 2-turn races on the dirt. His last few haven't been that great, but you look at those races. Maryland Million Classic at Laurel at a mile and an eighth. Came back at Tampa, was a little bit dull in that race. Hadn't run since October. And then another 3 months off before showing up in the John J. Riley here, which is a sprint. Golden Brown, who runs later in the card, won that race. I thought it was a pretty good race for him to be third that day. He tried the turf in the Irish War Cry. Draw a line through that race. That's not what he wants to do. So he's back at his favorite track, doing what he really likes to do. And I don't think that this field is that sharp. The 2 short prices on the morning line, both of them are coming off career top efforts and optional claiming non-winners at 2 other than Allowance Company last time out. And they hit those career tops only two weeks ago. So I'm not certain that they're going to be able to duplicate those efforts at this level coming back. Prendimi on the class edge, I think sits a really good trip. Could get to the front, could just be right off the lead. But either way, a lot of options. I think he is the way to go here. If he's 4th choice in the wagering right now in the morning line, if he's there, if he's sitting there around that 9-2, 5-1, I would love to play him at that figure there. Even a little bit shorter, I think he's the most likely winner in this race. That's how I see the win early Pick-5 sequence at Monmouth. Great day of racing. Hope you check it out. Have a good week, and we'll be back on Friday.